Same braid since yesterday morning. I've just been tired today. I've been like, well, I don't know. So I did a lot of stuff this week. I've just been a little tired. And I keep taking naps. And for some reason, I do always wake up like at 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm like, I don't know what's up with that. But I just do. I've been like really embracing whatever my channel is. I'm just happy to be growing my hair long and to just share my journey with you. And I feel like, okay, the thing I like about my platform is I would never sell you guys like a consultation, because I've been thinking about this. Like, there's a lot of people, they get really big here on YouTube and they sell consultations, and to me it just seems so like, why are you guys doing that? Okay, I want to dust something. That's another thing about me. I love to dust and clean. Whenever I see something, I'm like, that needed to be dusted. Why is it, I just find it like it's kind of scammy. Now, I'm not saying it's a scam per se. Like, if it's just something like, I don't know, styling or something like that, I guess basically you're just paying somebody, I guess, that you think knows more about a topic than you to help you. But I just have like a big problem, like, if, it's just my thought, if you're paying for a consultation like on hair, like on how to grow your hair long, from somebody who probably has a different hair type than you, and from somebody who thinks that they can help anybody else grow their hair long, I really, no, I don't like it, because I know that's going to be the search term that drives the YouTube algorithm and Google algorithm and TikTok too, like putting on how to grow your hair or how to stop hair fall. So, you know, it's one thing if you're doing a DIY, but even then, I'm just like, if it's just natural ingredients, like, oh, you're doing something with rosemary, I get that, or just henna, whatever. But I just find it to be really gimmicky, bordering into kind of scammy, when it's, I'm selling this hair growth consultation. I'm like, are you really? Like, why? Why are you selling that? And you shouldn't buy them. Like, just my thought. Because a lot of the people, this is just another thing I have to say that I find interesting is the people who, I'm doing good, Khalid, how are you doing? The people who sell them will even admit they've had struggles with their hair growth. But all of a sudden, when their consultation's coming out or some e-course, like, those struggles they have gone away. And what are they gonna do? Dun 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 dun. Oh, I have found the holy grail, and now, like, I can sell you a consultation. These are really popular, by the way, in like the raw vegan foodist thing. Like, I was never a raw vegan, but I always thought it was kind of crazy. Like, you have these people that would sell consultations on how to eat raw fruit and just crazy stuff. I'm just like, are you kidding, guys? That's wild. That is wild that you're selling all that. Like, really? I don't know. How can you have conscience? No, you don't. Whatever. And I don't know. I just can't, and I think that's one of the reasons I just want to be a hair journey channel. Like, journey, journey, journey. Weirdest thing I found out about the Black community in America is some use, oh, I know what you're talking about. A lot of people use that. It's that mane and tail. I've never used it. It's like, it's really popular. There are people that are from, like, it might be popular in the Black community too, but it's popular like everywhere. Like, I had a teacher circa 1995, and she had long hair, and which was cool, but one day she decided to do a talk about how she had long hair, and they're like, what shampoo do you use? And she goes, I use mane and tail. So I told my mom, I said, because that was the first time I'd heard about this, I said, Mom, my teacher uses horse shampoo in her hair. Do you think that's a good idea? Because it sounded crazy, but she said it works. And she goes, oh, it's just a shampoo they sell at the store. Personally, I wouldn't buy mane and tail. I don't, Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. It's been in the long hair community for a while, and yeah, there are some black people that use it, but there's also like some, I guess, white people or other people that use it. I personally don't do the mane and tail shampoo, but I kind of just buy the regular shampoo, and then there's like a lot of people, I guess, like they also style their like horse hair, and then they use. It gets kind of like, I've never owned a horse. You need to be careful around horses too, because I remember one time growing up in the mountains. Like, I used to consider myself a mountain girl. I'm a woman now, but this was like, I don't know, 20 years ago or something. 15, really. But I grew up in the San Bernardino Mountains, which is why my other channel is called California Art and Mountain Life. Although the mountains is still the backdrop, because I live in the San Bernardino Valley, and we're right there. You can see the mountains, and my family lives in the mountains. I'm kind of like living in the city, because everybody's like, during the winter of 2023, the snow was all the way to the rooftop. I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't here in the valley. Like, but yeah, I remember one time when I was little, our neighbors had horses, and my sister tried to feed it a carrot, and then it nearly snatched the carrot. I don't know. Horses are pretty, but I've never been aspiring to ride a horse or own a horse. No, they're just they're pretty, but I don't know. Like, I had some horse toys as kids, and I kind of like to look at them, but I've just never been a horse fan. You know how they always say every little girl wants a horse? I'm like, when I was young, I was like, really? Is that a thing? I don't know, but maybe just because, I don't know, I don't get it. Some people like horses. I think it's a very rural thing, or mountainy thing. It's gross, these people used to ride their, I'm going all over the map with horses, but yeah, that shampoo, it's been around, and sometimes it kind of makes a comeback, to some long hair vlogger or like hair site will say, look, this shampoo saved my hair, and I don't know, it's just a very, I don't think the ingredients in that shampoo are that great. Like, they're okay, but I don't know why people like it so much. My teacher swore by it. She was like 6 foot, and her hair was like, I wouldn't say it was down to here, but then later in the year she cut her hair, because she was like, oh, like I need to like have shorter hair, even though she had long hair for a long time, and that was a thing too. I've forgotten all about this, but I always think about horse shampoo and her, because I didn't even know that was a thing until she mentioned it to us, you know. That's actually probably smart, because I know there's a lot of well, you know, there's a lot of sustainable brands that I've heard that have like certain ingredients that are better for textured hair, and that's probably better for your hair, you know. I personally was using Selsun Blue for a while, because I thought, oh, that's so great for like, because back when I had a little bit of a scalp irritation, I thought that would be great for preventing it. But even though I still do use drugstore shampoos, I'm kind of like being more careful. Like right now I'm using Garnier one, and it seems okay, but I don't even wash my hair a lot. Like, I think, and now that's the thing too, like everybody, like, it's weird, because you have the cycles, the trends where people are saying don't wash your hair, and then they're saying you should wash your hair, but people with wavier and curly, especially curly hair, you can't wash your hair every day. And then I just thought it was so silly that I saw this one short, because you see all this stuff when you do hair stuff, right? About this lady saying, well, Japanese people wash their hair every day. And it was another ad to sell a scalp scrubber, guys. Like, you can wash your hair every day, but you know what? That'll dry your hair out to heck. When my hair was a little bit shorter, like a couple of years ago, and I was trying to get rid of the scalp irritation, I did start washing my hair a little bit more often. But I don't know, like, as my hair gets longer, I don't need to wash my hair like every 3 days. It's just too much for me, and that's excessive. Like, you know, I did also a few years back, I was kind of washing my hair more often, but I got to the point that I think, okay, I've been doing, I did a month, okay, last time, without fully washing my hair, but I do rinse it in the shower a lot. Like, when I mean, like, I actually do rinses, although I've just let a little bit of water hit my hair here and there, and I've gone about 2 weeks since washing my hair. Yeah. So I think I might wash my hair tomorrow, because sometimes I'm thinking either 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But I was saying once a week. I think every 2 weeks just seems to be a really good spot for me, to be honest with you. And my sister, who has a completely different texture of hair, I would say all the things she says about her hair are just like, I believe, like, just from, it's interesting what genetics you get, like, you know, she looks like an English person, because my mom was primarily English, you know, and they're very fair, they burn in the sun, like, to Disneyland, she's like, I'm gonna burn, I'm like, it's 63 degrees outside, how are you gonna burn? She goes, Julia, you know I'm gonna burn, and I'm like, how are you gonna burn? She goes, you know I'm gonna burn. And I know I should wear sunblock more often, but I'm like, I don't burn. It was 63 degrees outside with a cloud layer in Disneyland. I always consider Anaheim to be a little bit more on the chilly side. And I try to put on sunblock. I don't always wear sunblock. And I never burn, really, unless it's like 100 degrees outside or something. And yeah, you should wear sunblock, but there's also some studies that say sunblock isn't good for you. So it's a give and take, I really think. And I haven't had, like, a lot of the people I know that are obsessed with, like, using all these face washes and sunblock and makeup, and I don't do that. And I don't talk about that, really. That's not popular to say. I don't even, like, I put on face lotion, but I don't really wear makeup. That's interesting. I'm glad to hear that. But it was just somebody that was making a video. So I can't say that's true. It was just somebody trying to sell a hair scrubber. And the lady's part Japanese. She doesn't live in Japan. I would say one of her parents is Japanese. And she probably wanted to sell something. So, you know, and think about it. That's like saying all Americans love fast food. I don't. I mean, I used to be confused when I saw people driving and eating in their cars, and I'm like, is that a thing? I'm like, no wonder the driving's so bad. But there was a guy on Friday night, you bad boy, and I was crossing the street because I walked down a different street. I watched down Orange. My mom calls it Orange Tree Lane because there's not as many orange fields anymore. But there's still a few left here in the Loma area. So I walked down the street where there's still some orange fields because I just wanted to smell the orange fields. And now that the jasmine's coming out, and it's so fragrant. And I was just walking. I felt like I was on cloud nine, even though Friday was a bad day. It was a bad day, but whatever. I don't care. Like, I do, but I don't, because, you know, sometimes you find out that something wasn't fair. But anyway, whatever, I digress. But it was lovely outside, and the smell was lovely. And then I tried to cross the road when I nearly got home, and this guy nearly hit me and, like, called me the B word. I'm like, oh, isn't that cute? Not. And I'm like, you can't hit people. But yeah, a lot of the things, you're right, on the internet are lies. It's illegal here in California, but you know, we have this fun little thing for the last 15 years. Our city stopped enforcing driving, like, we on tickets, like, in this, like, general vicinity, and it's known that they don't really ticket, like, speeding, running red lights, and they used to have the camera that would take the picture, but that was, like, kind of, became unpopular because apparently sometimes the camera took the picture of the wrong person, but it's kind of generally known. And then occasionally they'll start doing traffic enforcement, like, I'll occasionally see, I don't know, Californians in general drive kind of erratically, in my opinion, too fast. And then if you drive the speed limit and you drive cautiously like my mom, people are kind of like rude about it. And then I don't know when everybody decided that driving, like, you know, I'm really interested in the driverless cars. People are like, oh my god, that thing is scary. I'm like, no. I signed up because I embrace new technology. And when it comes to my area, I'm going to do a vlog. If I was closer to Los Angeles, I'd go on the Waymo. Okay, guys, I'm not scared of the driverless car. I think it's safer than humans. I really do. And I've been watching a lot of people on TikTok with their Waymo videos, and I'm excited. Like, embrace new technology. Don't be like the people like, oh, technology's evil. Like, yet they're on social media derailing technology, but you're using technology. I mean, if you were the man that refused to get a cell phone and you were looking for phone books at the post office and really confusing some young clerk who never knew that they used to give out phone books at the post office, then yeah, maybe I would buy it. But if you're on the internet using the internet saying social media is bad and technology is evil and blah 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 blah, I'm like, okay, I'm not saying it's always perfect, but do you think everything was perfect back before technology? Because there's always been technology. I did a video about this, actually, about how people hated the telephone when it came out. But anyway, I digress. People should be more careful when they drive. It's just because either one, they know there's no traffic enforcement in our area for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's just back after the 2007 economic cracky collapsey thing, like the first recession, they kind of just stopped having the funds to enforce it. I don't know. But it's just kind of a well-known fact that, oh, let's drag race on a Saturday night. I'm not impressed. Like, oh, you guys, and like, you're drag racing, or you don't want to stop at intersection when somebody has a walking light. And you know, I've been like, oh my god, what are you doing? And most people will back up, but this guy, no. He just called me the B word. Oh, that was fun. But he has no empathy. I'm like, and women do it too. Like, I saw women a few years ago making like a video when they were driving or something. That's kind of scary. I don't know. If you're driving, you shouldn't be doing it. So it's illegal here too to be a distracted driver. It's just, I don't know. California drivers kind of like take pride in thinking, well, we know when like cops are coming, and or there is, or places we can speed, or they just kind of watch, and then some of them get tickets, and then I don't know. So whatever. I just don't like bad driving, but I have to kind of just ignore it and just focus on myself, because I'm like, whatever. There's always going to be bad drivers in the world, and there's pedestrians that aren't like polite either. Like, I'm not going to be one of those people who just crosses the street where there isn't a crosswalk. Like, that's dangerous. Like, in the U.S., that's called jaywalking, and I don't do that either, because I do watch for cars. Like, I'm not one of those people either. So I just try to, like, obey the traffic laws and be safe. Like, I don't know why that's not a thing. Like, why people don't take more pride in that. I mean, it should be. But that's kind of why I like the driverless car, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's so scary. And at first I kind of thought it might be. But I've been watching more videos about it. And yes, it's still very much in its testing phase. But you know, they've been testing it in Phoenix for many years. And yeah, there were a couple of incidences where somebody got hit, but that's an everyday occurrence with regular drivers. And regular drivers are sometimes eating, texting. I saw a lady merging onto the freeway like 20 years ago applying mascara. How do you even do that? I mean, her skill was pretty mad, like good driving. I'm not saying that, but I still think that's a distraction. Like, how do you put on mascara as you're merging onto the freeway on-ramp? I don't know. I really don't know. Like, there's just certain things I'm just like, wow, you've had some practice there. You know? It's just, that was pretty interesting. I don't wear mascara though. I don't know. I just think people don't like that though, because I think most people want to do, and I have nothing against makeup, and I know a lot of people love makeup, and it's a form of self-expression, but I've just never been into it. I never felt compelled to wear it, and I like that. Like, I just like being more of a natural person. Like, yeah, I have my hair, but henna's natural. I don't know. I'm always gonna be more of a natural girly. I don't want to get my nails done. And this was a discussion I had with my sister, and I know she loves to get her nails done. But I think sometimes I find it like it's probably not super clean. And I did go with her once to get my toenails done. I never wanted to get my nails done, and I didn't like the way it felt, and I started giggling, and I couldn't sit there. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. So I don't really find it. So like I want to have long hair, but I feel like that is another thing about me too. I don't wear makeup. Like I wear a little bit of BB cream or lotion and no makeup. And you know, women can kind of be rude, and I don't care. Like I love the way I look. It doesn't bother me at all. But I remember sometimes women would say things like, "Oh, we were talking about women who could get away with not wearing makeup. You know, the ones who can get away with it." I'm like, kind of a comment is that? I've just never felt compelled to make women like comments like that to other women. I don't know. Like, if women want to wear makeup, that's great. If women want to get their nails done, that's great. I just have no interest in it. So I feel like maybe that's another thing on my channel. I can just discuss how I've just always used my own intuition, I think. And I think that's another reason I just never went to like the hair forums to get advice from other women. Like, it was interesting too, like when I started the long hair channel, like I had people telling me, "Oh, that's a good place to get advice," but I just never knew that was a thing. I just thought, well, you can go on the internet and you can look something up, and you can find like different things to read about it. And that's how I found out about henna, but I first read about it in a book talking about Iran, and then it was referenced in the Bible, and I did research on it, and I knew it's used in the Middle East and India, of course, but in the Middle East, very much so. And I always was very curious about it, because, you know, my dad's not going to do henna. Like, my dad's a guy. Like, even, like, the Syrian food, his grandma made it, and his dad started to make it, but my dad, he thinks, I don't know, he started making some things, but I'm just like, he can make lentils and rice, majidra, but I don't know. You want to make it, you need to go. But then he can criticize that bakery that makes the baklava. It's too sweet. Like, yeah, I'm sure they made it different in 1908, Dad. Like, they did. And that's another thing I want to talk to. This is the most random live stream. You know, I do some genealogy research, and I'm like kind of looking into it again. And I have this cousin, he's in Germany. He's half Syrian and half German. And he's very into genealogy. I don't know, he might also be Iranian, I think, too, in his admixture. I have a few cousins that are. That's very interesting. That comes up a lot. But, because I took the DNA test. Oh, no, people get really scared when they say I took a DNA test. But I thought, well, I'll tell you why I did it. Because for years and years, even though my mom is primarily English, we have always wondered about her dad because he had jet black hair, okay? And I still don't know for sure, but it says like primarily English on her DNA, like when it came back, although there was some thought that maybe they had like, I don't know, a little bit of like Spaniard, I think, I don't know, but they were not Native American, but they believed there was that story, the made up story about, and I told everybody we don't have Native American. I've told everybody that, and so many people in my family still believed it. So I took a DNA test to show them. I'm like, see, I don't think this is true, because if we had Native American ancestry, like we would have some sort of connection to a tribe, to a people. And it's a fallacy that a lot of, there's both white and black Americans who believe that they have Native American ancestry. But I don't think you should say that unless you have like a connection to a certain indigenous group, or if you have taken like a DNA test that can vet it. This is interesting about Native Americans though, like the North American groups, indigenous groups, just because of what the U.S. government did to their people, they don't really want to participate in DNA testing, and I totally get that. But you can know right away if you have indigenous roots because there are indigenous people from Canada, from Mexico, Central and South America who do participate. And when you take the test, it's going to tell you if you even have a percentage of DNA from a Native American group of people. It's going to tell you because they have reference profiles of people from different parts of the world, which gives you the admixture, you know, and you find out these things. And I thought it was really fascinating and interesting, but you don't have to take the test if you don't want to. Nobody's making you do it. Some people are very like, oh my God. And they have various reasons, but just don't take the test if you don't want to take it, you know? Funny, men wear makeup. Yeah, a lot of people wear makeup. You know, I don't know. I think, like, even in the 70s, you had a lot of, like, glam rock bands. They wore makeup. Like, Duran Duran, they're very, I would say they're very heterosexual guys, but they wore a lot of makeup. I don't like to wear makeup just because it's not for me. Like, that's the thing. I've just never... I don't like applying makeup to my face. The head on the hands, I should have tried, but I haven't practiced it. Like, I would need to do it and learn how to do it for it to look good, I feel like. But I've never done that. I've just been interested in, which is another thing that both women have done in the Middle East and India and North Africa, actually, and all parts of Africa, really, is henna on the hair. I've always been interested in that, and that's where a lot of my interest in henna comes from. But it's really beautiful to see the designs. I just feel like I would need to practice that because you need to mix it correctly, and then you need to make the henna cones to do it right. And I guess I never went to go pay to have it done because I just don't pay to go have things done. I don't do that because it costs money. And I'm kind of like, I like to spend money on clothes sometimes, but I'm kind of a frugal DIY person. Like, I don't even go to the hair salon. Like, I've been trimming my own hair since, well, 2008 and 9. Oh, 2008, since the last time I went. Because I just was like, I can do this myself. I'm not going to pay. That's just me, though. Like, I'm saying, I think my hair journey is a lot different than other people. A lot of people love like salon day, spa day, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like to pay, I guess. Like, and also too, another thing about the salon is I felt like they wanted you to go too often, and you have to you'd have to look for one that here in the U.S. anyway. I'm definitely gonna put oil on this side of my hair because I feel like my hair loves oil. That's another thing. Let's see. They did. I mean, if you look at all the ancient Egyptians, like, they were very dark skinned. Of course they did. You know, we know. Like, I don't. Was somebody saying that black people were not Egyptian? I don't know. I never agreed with that. I don't really know what all the conspiracy theories are. Like, I hear about them. Like, when I used to do the ice cream that I had to cut off, that lady was really into conspiracy theories, like, of certain kinds, like the deep state. And I get it. People are very distrustful of the government, and they think the government's out to get them. But I'm just, like, in this part of my life where I'm like, I'm just so over it because I was so exposed to people that were really hardcore into conspiracy theory. So I know everybody has, and there's been really bad things that the government has legitimately done to people. So I get it. I understand where the interest in conspiracy theories come from, but I'm just at a point in my life. I'm like, well, what are we gonna do? Like, there are certain things, like I mean, come on, like that we know probably were not the best that every government rolled out like a few years ago, and that's not being like just weren't vetted enough. Like looking back, and by the way, that they didn't tell you that. I don't even want to go into this because it's considered controversial, even though, and this is not even a conspiracy theory that certain, I don't know, cause hair loss, but I'm not going into that. But I get it. I get why people are into conspiracy theories. But yeah, I think it's just because African people have been treated horrible. Like there's been a lot of racism towards them. So it's white supremacy. And by the way, like Cleopatra wasn't even African. She was Macedonian. Like they were occupying Egypt. Like, and they were pretending to be like Egyptians. So they weren't Egyptians, like they were a conquering people that came in, and that was thousands of years after the pyramids had been erected. And that's where a lot of that kind of theory comes from, just Europeans that wanted to, I don't know, colonize people. So it started around that time. So that's where you get a lot of that. And yeah, it's not fair, but there's a lot of deep-seated like racism, you know. I just keep it in a braid, like that braid I had. And now I've been using my satin pillowcase more. And I've been thinking I should use like a satin pillowcase all the time, but I've been noticing it's kind of better. But I didn't always. I leave my hair in a braid like all the time. I don't leave my hair loose too often. No, I think it's good that you do your hair. Like, I think if you want a certain hairstyle, yeah, you should go to the salon. But, you know, like, for me and my purposes, I can do my own hair. Like, because for me, it would not be culturally appropriate to have many braids in my hair because I don't have that texture. Like, I think if you have, like, that's another thing, too, I've been seeing on TikTok. I don't really, of course, like, you know, I'm Middle Eastern and white, so I can do braids in my hair, but not like certain types of braids. Like I feel like certain types of braids are something that are part of African culture, and it is like I'm not gonna go braid my hair like that. I feel like if you have like for hair, like, you know, texture 4 type hair, 3C to 4C, like yeah, braiding, that's protective for your hair. I do wonder like why are white people like putting like braids in their hair like that? Because I mean, I just don't understand. It doesn't seem super respectful. I don't know. But I just want to do it personally, like, because that's a cultural thing. And it would be kind of like somebody who's American pretending to be Native American, which is kind of cringy now. But people used to do that, like, at costume dress-up parties. I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff that I think it's kind of cringy, like I don't know, but those are just my theories. Like I think if you're African, yeah, I can see why you'd want to go get your hair braided. It makes total sense to me. I just think somebody like me with my hair texture, I don't need to, you know, go to the salon and do that. No, they look attractive, but I just feel like, so you're saying some European cultures have box braids, like the Vikings? Is that what you're talking about? I'm not really sure. I know that they did do multiple braids. I just feel like the braids that some people are like emulating, like I'm not sure if they should do that if they're white. That's just what people are telling me, and that's just how they feel. Like I feel like a lot of African people don't like that. That's just what I've been hearing on TikTok anyway, that it's very offensive to people of African, like, I don't know, you can tell me, Claude, like, do you think that's offensive? Like, when somebody who's white, or Asian or Middle Eastern who's doesn't have that texture of hair is braiding their hair like more of an African style? I'm just asking, like, I don't know, but it's just a question, you know. I like braids. I don't do multiple braids because I just feel like that's not my culture and it's not really for my texture of hair. But it looks really good on people I feel that are African. I just don't know, like, should white people be? They can if they want. I'm not going to go police what people do. I'm just asking because this has been a discussion a lot on like TikTok and it comes up on my FYP a lot. Okay, so that's good to know. Okay, I just wanted to know if that was true or not. Thank you for sharing. I wanted some clarification on that. Because just as a person that kind of, I sort of stay in my own lane and like I'm interested in Middle Eastern culture, like doing things that are Middle Eastern or like, of course I'm part white too, like, so that's just a given, but white people don't really have a culture. Like they do, but they don't. But my mom didn't even really do like white culture people things. Very interestingly, she grew up in rural Kansas, so I don't know. I'm interesting. I'm like the hybrid one. I'm interesting. And I'll tell you, when I was younger, I didn't feel like I fit in with anybody. Now I kind of embrace that a lot, but when I was younger, it was like yeah, I never felt like I had the same experience as other people, you know? I don't know. So, but that's good to hear. I mean, I get it. Like, if I wouldn't be offended if people do things from various cultures and embrace it, that doesn't offend me. I'm just questioning because of what you see on the FYP. So that's all. It's just a question. Yeah, I think that's a good point too. And also too, I get to probably because, okay, this is another way I could see it because I have a degree in history and I can kind of see why maybe this is why a lot of African Americans feel this way for sure. Because they were brought here, they didn't immigrate. Like every other group of people, well, not true. There were white indentured servants, by the way, so it's interesting, like they weren't exactly, but they were treated like slaves. If you were an indentured servant, you had to work for free to get training for like 7 years. So there were like, but the thing about that is once the 7 years were up, the white person could, they'd be a free person. And there were some Africans that came, but most of them, like if you trace their genealogy, they were sold into slavery. So I feel like because if you never had free time and you weren't able to do your hair the way you wanted, I can see why maybe African Americans have this feeling about hair and some of their thoughts on it. So I totally respect their view. I'm not saying that's my view. I can see why, like just having empathy, I can see why people have those feelings, you know, because of their cultural experience. Because even in America, like, I'll tell you, like, things I have seen, I saw an African American black man jaywalking on a very small street, and this was about 20 years ago, and a cop pulled over and he said, "What are you doing?" And he was acting like he was going to put handcuffs on him for jaywalking. And then I kind of was watching, and I started watching, and he stopped. So I totally get it, because some people just have, would he have done that to like a fluent looking white guy? Probably not. I don't know. But, you know, so people have different experiences. That's probably why they feel, and yeah, they don't know the ancient culture because they've been detached from it. But the same is true for like white Americans. Like they're not gonna know like how Europeans, like their ancestors came over here like in the 1500s, 1600s. A lot of people, like there are more recent immigrants, but a lot of people with European ancestry can trace their like roots, because on my mom's side I did the genealogy. A lot of them were coming over here in the 1700s, and they all became just settlers in a rural land and started a whole new way of life. So their way of life is not going to be like English people. Like even if you have English ancestry, mostly primarily somebody in the Midwest, like a lot of my ancestors on my mom's side, a little bit of German and Dutch, you're not going to live like, you're not going to know the way like German people, like they do their Oktoberfest and the traditions and some of the dancing. That's just not going to be like, Americans might pretend that they know and maybe some research it, but it's going to be different because you've been, I think that's just the thing about coming to America. No matter how your ancestors came here, unless you're a more recent immigrant that has a stronger tie to your culture, you're probably not going to do it exactly the way that it's traditionally done, right? That's kind of the way I view it. That's cool. I think it's beautiful. I agree. Like the way that traditional African braids are done, it's very beautiful. I honestly, your hair looks really cool when you braid it. I really like it. But I know you're more like private, so you don't really post that stuff as much. But it's very cool when you do it. I wish more men would post when they're growing their hair long, because I've decided to take a stance and I put some stronger word blocks on my channel, because there were two different types of guys. If it wasn't the hair fetish guy, it was like some weird, like, I don't know, I was just getting so tired of it, because there'd be these dudes that would come to my channel and they were being kind of disrespectful to me, and I was just kind of playing along for a while. And this one guy was being kind of probably I was almost on the point of blocking him. Like he would pretend like he was all nice, like saying you look good, but it would always be kind of too graphic. And I don't like to censor people if they like being so nice, but then he'd come and say, oh, like, why don't you have like this person that says they're your fan, like commenting on your every single video? And then he would come, and it was getting weird. I'm just like, so since people can't behave themselves, and I had to tell a couple of my commenters that YouTube is PG, it's not what you think it is, I had to put my block higher for them, because I'm like, I'm tired of, I guess I could block people, but I hate that. I don't like doing that. That's just not my vibe. Like, I'm just like, whatever, you can't behave yourself. It's silly. It is so silly. And I'm like, I don't know, just recently I'm getting tired of it. I'm like, you can't even act like, you know, act like an adult. Like, what are you, 15? I don't know. So I think it would be cool, like, if there were more guys that are actually, that feel comfortable, if they want to, just post it authentic, growing their hair long content. Because right now, I feel like a lot of the long hair content is taken up with these goobers that have the weird hair fetishes, and they either just take videos from other women's channels, or they pay a woman to make a certain kind of video, or they just downright copy it. This happened to somebody recently. She had her like photos copied into some ad channel without her consent, and it's just weird. And then like they come on here and they act like everything you do with your hair is there to please them, and I'm like, no, you're just weird, man. Like, that's not cool. Like, literally. And these are all dudes that have really short hair, but they think women should grow their hair. And then the weirder ones, I don't know, I even mention it, they're like into shaving long hair. I was like, I'm over it. I'm so over it. Like, really, guys? No, it's good that you're reserved, and people should be reserved, because I can imagine you probably would get weird DMs, and you'd probably get them from the guys. Because, I don't know, like, I was seeing some things that mildly bother me. Well, first off, If your child's under 18, why do you have a fan modeling account doing long hair fetish content with your underage child? I don't know. I get that there's like a place for children to model clothes or maybe to be in movies, but I still think that some of this is kind of gross. And there would be these guys and they would be following the accounts of like, and this person was clearly like underage, and then it'll say an account managed by a parent, but it was putting out content that kind of appealed to some of these fetish long hair guys, and it just was kind of weird. And I was like, why are they following the accounts of underage girls? I don't like it. Like that's weird. But I think that's kind of an Instagram problem. I haven't been seeing it as much anymore, but it was happening for a while. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think you need to, if you're over 18, why are you following the account of minors? Even if they're a model. Why? Maybe you should ask yourself why you're doing that. Especially if you're a man. It's just not good. It's not good, guys. Like, why do you need to follow the account of a young girl modeling? I think you need to ask yourself that. But, I'm not here to dodge and deep dive into, that's kind of why I said I didn't want to do reactions anymore to some things I see on these different platforms. But I find it problematic, but I do think Instagram needs to do a better job of maybe preventing like certain types of content from underage users being posted, but that's just my take on it. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I can see that would happen too. And you don't deserve that. You don't deserve to have, I think men can also be harassed on the internet. And I've seen men harassed in public, like, okay, yeah, women can be inappropriate too. Like, I remember, just at the end of the year at this one, like, I was in school, and I just remember it was kind of like, with a teacher, like a teaching assistant, and we were having like an end of the year party, and it kind of like shocked me because some of the women brought cameras, and they had boyfriends and husbands, by the way, and they were joking because this one teaching assistant was kind of, I guess he was cute. He wasn't exactly my type of guy. Like, he was really tall and more like a tall German modelly looking lean guy. I don't know, that's not my favorite type of guy, but they were really into him. And at the end, I think they were making him feel very uncomfortable because they're like, now that we're out of your class, we can take pictures of you and make you blush. And then one of them said, oh, you can get up and strippy strip. And then he like picked up a napkin and he's like, oh, I feel like I have to cover myself. And he was kind of playing into it, but his face was all red, so I think he felt uncomfortable. And I felt uncomfortable. I was like, gosh, like, it'd be one thing if you knew him personally and you guys were doing something outside, but we were all still semi-professional with each other, so it was kind of weird. Like, nobody wants to see you do that in front of other people. Like, if you're gonna do that, go off and do it somewhere else. And it didn't seem like he was interested in that. Like, it felt weird. It felt like he kind of felt like he had to go along with it, and I didn't like that. Like, it doesn't, that's not right. And I would not message people just to say things like that. I just don't understand people. Like, why would anybody do that? Even if you're a guy and you see a hot girl, a beautiful woman or whatever, or if you're a woman and you see a guy that you're attracted to, it just seems like a leap to message them and to assume there's like some sort of relationship or that something's gonna happen. It's weird, a little weird. It's kind of strange. Like, I like messages from respectful guys, but some of them are just like, yeah, to assume is it's a bit much, I think it's like 75 degrees outside. I'm not running my air conditioner. And I'm wearing long sleeves, and the bathroom is hot. But, I just wanted to brush out my hair. I want to wash my hair in the morning. So I do want to braid my hair, but I don't think I want to do twin braids this time. do something a little different. What am I thinking about? I have a thought about what I want to do. Just something more gentle, maybe. I still have to do basic braids on my hair, but I feel like a few years ago I was doing more ornate braids, which I do love braids in my hair, by the way. I love braids. I love braids. I love braids on other people too, so I do love that. What? People you know, like, yeah, it's weird. People shouldn't do that. Like, well, it's kind of strange. Like, yeah, I don't like people. I've never, pre-panorama, it's very popular in American culture for people to hug each other. And if I know somebody and I feel like I want to hug them, I will do it. But that's because we have some sort of relationship. But in pre-panorama American social culture, people just hug. Like, and they don't even really know each other, but they just have to hug each other. And I never felt the need to hug people that weren't like a family member or a really close friend. It just wasn't how I greeted people. Like, I didn't greet people with a hug. And actually, I got chastised for that. And people said, oh, like, you're standoffish. And I'm like, I don't want to hug people that I don't have a close familial relationship with. That's just not my style. Like, if you hug somebody, I feel like it should have meaning. And I feel like when you hug people, everybody, it kind of like, what is its meaning? Like, to me, I guess, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with hugging, but yeah, I'm like that too. I like a little bit more space when I'm in a, like, I don't even like it if somebody stands too close for me, and my sister are the same way, so we back up. Like, because some people, even during the COVID, when you were supposed to have more space, I will literally back up, because I'm like, if you don't give me enough space, like, I'm gonna go get my hair ties. I'll back up. So how do I want to braid my hair? Just need to think about it. Because usually I just do a single braid down my back, which I guess is kind of, I like it. It's my favorite style for my hair. I love braids, but I used to sometimes do more ornate braids. So what does everybody think about oil scalping? I put a little bit of oil on my hair and it gets on my scalp, but does anybody here religiously oil their scalp? And do you think that it's really giving you hair growth? Or do you think it's being over promoted by people that want to sell a specific overpriced hair oil? I kind of think it's being over promoted, like when it's a certain like brand of oil, but does anybody oil their scalp like all the time? I mean, I put oil in my hair and it gets into my scalp, but I don't like use a dropper and do all those things that the other people are doing. I'm just wondering, like, and my hair is still growing and people never did that until recently. So does anybody have thoughts on that? I don't know. Well, yeah, I get acne too still. You would think that I wouldn't get acne, but you can get acne all your life. Like, I think I just still sometimes get it. I don't know. I used to get really bad acne up until I was, well, not bad, but I used to get worse breakouts when I washed my face with soap. That's another thing. I washed my face with water, and that kind of stopped it years ago. But even recently, like, I put oil in my hair, but I do have to be careful, because if I get too much oil near my, like, not on my hair itself, but something about my hairline to my, like, from here to here, like, I'll get, like, some acne around here. But I don't even think it might be the oil. It might just be because I use BB cream occasionally, and sometimes if I don't rinse off well enough, like right there, I feel like I get a little bit of acne. So I'm trying to think what I want to do with my hair. Like, I want to do a braid. I just feel feel like I was doing more intricate braids a few years ago, and it's something about a practice. I just don't do it enough anymore, I feel like. You know? I guess I'm trying to say. Yes, that's another thing I agree with too. That's why I wanted to ask everybody's opinion on that, because I feel like if you can go. That was another thing too, like that lady who said the Japanese people wash their hair every day. First off, yeah, I don't buy that. You're absolutely right. 100% agree. But she would wash her hair every day, but then she was oiling her scalp twice a week. So I was thinking maybe you had to oil your scalp because you overwash your hair. Now, my mom swears that she used to have to wash her hair every day when she was younger, she said. But she said more recently she's been going a few days without washing her hair. And I said, yeah, I think you can do that. I think, like, I don't know. Like, some people just say they have to wash it every day or every other day. To me, it's just too much. There was a period I was kind of washing my hair every 3 days. But I just felt like that was excessive, and I stopped doing it after that. And I think the only reason I was doing that was because I like wetting my hair to comb through it. And I thought, well, you don't have to wash your hair every 3 days to comb through it wet. You could just do a root rinse in the shower. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I started making a Disney vlog video, but I really am going to have to work on that because I want to put all the clips together and make it look nice. Although I should have filmed them in horizontal and not vertical. Because I thought, oh, I'll try vertical for like the TikTok thing. And TikTok was not happy with me because for some reason now YouTube didn't care, but I had to delete my Pirates of the Caribbean video because it said it got a community violation, even though I didn't say that earlier. Like, it was weird. Like, why? Well, probably because I was copyrighted music on it. But I changed my TikTok account recently from a business account because I thought it was going to promote my YouTube account, but I'm like, I just don't get enough followers on that thing. And everybody's really worried in the US they're going to ban TikTok. Relax. They've been saying that over and over again for months. They're not going to ban it. It's just a whole bunch of people that are doing Google's bidding, because think about it right now. TikTok, it's all about the competition. Google wants to be the big one in town. They want everybody to be on YouTube. And I love YouTube, right? But they're not going to ban TikTok. It's not going to happen. I'm just going to say it's not happening because, first off, TikTok's been jumping through hoops to comply with US regulations. They're not going to ban it. Like, they have to vet so many different things. It's not happening. I know everybody's worried about it, but it's not happening. They said this a year ago. They said it 2 years ago. They said it when Trump was in office. Relax. They're not banning TikTok anytime soon. I know they're going to put it to a vote, but I don't foresee it happening. So I'm just not going to panic about it. I don't think they're banning TikTok tomorrow, you know? Oh, yeah, I was on Rumble, actually. Yeah, that's probably why, I guess. Maybe that was the reason. But I just make videos of different rides because it's fun. I don't know. I'm a Disney fan, so. There's a lot of people that actually go to Disneyland and they live stream every day and they go on all the rides and go in the store. My sister saw one of the big TikTok live streamers. He was in one of the Disney stores, like, and she's like, oh, if you go up to him, he'll clap at you. And I'm like, do you know who that is? Is he famous? I could tell he was doing it live, but she said she'd seen him on TikTok. So I just do it because it's kind of fun and interesting and people are interested in it. And honestly, sometimes I just post things that I think might be, like, you know, one thing about me is I'm an amateur photographer and artist, so I just like to film things. I love filming things, even if I don't always have time to edit them the way I would like to, you know. I just have fun filming things. But yeah, I don't know. I just deleted the video anyway because I'm going to put it on YouTube. So, I just decided not to have it there. And my TikTok doesn't really take off anyway, so. And it's not really related to my hair channel anyhow. I don't even know why I put it there. I have another TikTok account that's just like, that I used to post to more, but I was using TikTok like kind of as a platform to try and get views to YouTube, but that's not going to work. You have to really do well on TikTok, and I've just given up on TikTok because I don't know. It's just not really happening. My TikTok's about as dead as my Instagram. It happens a little, but no, I just have a lot of fake accounts following me, and they're asking me, "Do you want marriage?" And I'm like, "I'm a 5-star general." I'm like, "You're not, but good try." Like I totally believe you. You know. Like, or like this one guy said he's a dentist in Chicago, but it was obviously like a video and photos of a dentist in Brazil. And I'm like, you work in Chicago and you have Portuguese on your name tag? And I looked up the office and it's a dentist in Brazil. It's like, okay, yeah, I believe you. Winnie the Pooh I used to think he was fun sometimes, but Eeyore, I don't know. He's not an original Disney character though, right? He's from C.S. Lewis. Who do I like? I just like Minnie Mouse, and I just like to see them. Like, I would say I like Minnie Mouse, but I don't really identify with Minnie Mouse. I think the princesses are really beautiful, and I like to see like their costumes, but do I have like a favorite one? I like Minnie Mouse. I sometimes dress a little bit like Minnie Mouse, like I like red. Oh, they're redoing, by the way, Tiana, like they're redoing the log ride, and I think it's gonna be so much better when they've done it, because it's gonna be like a Tiana themed log ride. So, because I've always thought, like, even though I love Disneyland, their log ride just wasn't it. Like, Knott's Berry Farm and Magic Mountain, although I haven't been to Magic Mountain in years, they have better log rides, in my opinion. And Knott's Berry Farm has a much better log ride, so I'm excited to see, like, the improvement of their log ride. It should be fun. I'm wondering if I don't know, I think the one at Knott's is just more fun. I like their log ride, but I love Disneyland. But I love the Enchanted Tiki Room. I like the Jungle Cruise a lot. I love Space Mountain. But I'm more of a Disney fan because I don't like the Upside Down rides as much. Like, some people really love the Upside Down rides. I'm like, I can live with that. I think the roller coaster at Disneyland is scary enough for me. Okay, it goes fast. That's fast enough for me. I don't need to go upside down. I like the Disney cartoons. I like eating food at Disney. Like, that's fun. Like, we got pretzel bites. The Disney pretzel, not the pretzel. The Disney pretzel, and a churro, and the Dole Whip, and I get a vegan burger, but my sister I think she got a chicken burger this time. She thought about getting a real burger, but yeah. And a lot of the food is overpriced, but apparently not if you go to like some of the sit-down places. It depends on where you eat, I think, and what you're getting. But you're in Disneyland. What did you think you were gonna pay? Like, food is expensive in California anyway. Like, I'm just saying, it's not cheap, but it's not as bad as if you go to some of the other places. So I don't know. I like Minnie Mouse a lot. I've always loved Minnie. My mom loves Mickey Mouse. Like, when I was little, I had this little red Mickey look, and she used to love. My mom will never go to Disneyland again, though. By the way, well, I don't discuss the ultimate reason why, but she just doesn't really go places. But she used to love Disney when we were younger. She was a hardcore Disneyland fan and a Disney fan. Like, we always used to watch the Disney cartoons, and she loved Disney figurines. Like, we used to have to get my mom loves figurines. Like, we always had to get a little Disney figurine. She likes Cinderella, and I think my sister actually bought her Mickey Mouse. Daisy Duck. She has many little ceramic, like OG Disney figurines. You don't even see figurines like that in the park anymore. And I used to always be like, Mom, you love your figurines, but now they're kind of like a collector's item because you don't. Like, I was looking at a lot of the different stores. First off, I don't know, figurines might not be as popular anymore, but they're very, I feel like it's kind of a nostalgic thing, like those original kind of figurines from the 80s and 90s. You don't see them anymore. I don't anyway. I didn't really see them as much around the park, but maybe I wasn't looking for them. Maybe they're still there. But I looked in several stores and I didn't see, it seemed more like t-shirts, cups, ears, hats, but I didn't see the figurines as much. I mean, there is a store where they sell like the little crystal things, but I'm just talking about the little ceramic figurines, and they were pretty reasonably priced. You know, you could get that as a souvenir, and they're just cute. But my mom used to love to stay at Disneyland and sell clothing. Like, I don't, like, we stay the whole time, and some people are like, they have to leave at 5. I'm like, if you're paying that much money, you're doing it, and you're doing the whole thing. Well, we are anyway. My nephew did not want to. So apparently a lot of people leave early, but we just like to stay the whole time. But I'm kind of like that. But my energy level is a little too high for my sister. Like, and you know, when I slept today. I slept on and off all day long because I've been working, and I went to Disneyland, and I went 6 days straight. So I can sleep on Sunday. You know, they say it's a day of rest. It's a day for me to sleep in my bed. I'm just kidding. Don't get mad at me. Oh yeah, that's true. You have to think about that. So there's nothing halal at Disneyland, because I thought that certain things were. Like, my thought is, if it's vegan, like, I know you eat meat, I'm thinking that's not halal because it doesn't have any animal products in it. So, because I know there's like actually some vegan Muslims who go to Disneyland and they eat the vegan food there. So I think it's more like, but are you saying it's still not halal? It just wouldn't have meat in it? I think if you're doing the vegan option, it's gonna be, I could be wrong, but it should be halal, right? Because I've seen videos on Muslim, and I saw Muslim people eating like certain things, like, and not other things. I think you just can't eat as many things, maybe. Just my thought. But you can definitely bring your own food, and they have a picnic area. Or you can just eat, I don't know, like in your car, or there's like options, you know? Oh, alcohol, okay. Well, I guess I'm just thinking about the, I've seen some vegan, like, Muslims who showed, like, their Disney vlogs, and I've seen Muslim people at Disneyland, and I saw them eating food, so they're eating something that is allowed. Like, I think maybe you just have to research it. Like, it might be harder. And is it all, like all the food? Like, for instance, the pretzels, I'm thinking, like, what, I'm not sure there's alcohol in the pretzels. Like, is there? I would have to look into that. But I saw a Muslim vegan woman who goes to Disney, and she ate the pretzels. So, unless you're telling me it's not halal, I don't know. But I saw quite a few Muslim people, and some of them were eating food. So, maybe it's not halal. I don't know. But they weren't eating food during the day, though. But I think it was after Ramadan when we went. But I saw it at night. Like, I saw people eating pretzels, and she was wearing hijab, so. And I've seen videos of people. So, I don't know. I'm going to look into it and see, like, if everything is not allowed. Okay, I'm not questioning you. I'm not trying to, like, question you. So maybe you should do like a video like on what you would bring to a theme park or what you would bring other places. That's a good idea. I'm supposed to braid this side. And now I'm brushing my hair again. Who knows? I just like to brush my hair. It feels good. You know, I think that's my form of doing a scalp massage. Because, like, when you brush your hair, you stimulate your scalp. Guys, we're debunking a lot of the stuff that you need and must do to grow your hair long. Because if my hair grew this long in 2 years, and remember, it was up to here, and now it's down to here. Some of it's genetics, yes. Some of it's genetics, but other things are things that I do with my hair because, you know, my one sister has pretty much the same genetics. I think she looks more like my mom, but her hair doesn't grow quite as fast. So I think brushing your hair gently stimulates it. I don't know. I just don't do all those things that other people are like. I have to do a certain kind of massage on my scalp, the scalp massager. I don't do all that. You see, that's the kind of stuff I get. Like, if they asked to do a super chat, I would think about it, but they don't. Like, they're the ones that just want the freebie. Like, no, they're not. I'm just doing whatever I am with my hair. I don't think I'm gonna necessarily. I do my hair in a low ponytail and then braid it. That's a low ponytail. It really is. Like that's what I do all the time. Or did he say a high ponytail? Of course, I always have that request. High ponytail, slick back, top knot, bun drop. Like, okay guys, like I did a bun drop once, okay? And it was a viral video, yes. But I don't really do them because I feel like maybe when my hair gets longer I will wear it up more again. But I was getting a lot of headaches doing that for prolonged amounts of time. But I do like updos. They look pretty. I mostly wear my hair in a braid. And the reason I was wearing my hair more as it was getting longer is because it was getting so long that I would sit on it. And then I started wearing it down in a braid more again. So I don't know, maybe I will. But I guess I should do more of the popular stuff that other people do with their hair. But I just like my hair. And I just intuitively do things with my hair, I guess. Okay, so here's another fun mystery. This guy sent me flowers, and I don't really know why. It was nice, but I don't really understand. I really appreciate the flowers, okay? Very pretty. So I told him, thank you. And he's like, oh yes, I appreciate you and everything you do. But it's not like, it wasn't with a romantic message. It was just like, thanks for helping me. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. But then ever since he sent me the flowers, I thanked him. I was nice to him. And now he just doesn't talk anymore, really. And I'm like, okay, I don't really understand that you just want to send me flowers and then do that? Because I didn't ask you to send me flowers. And if you had more intent, you could have just talked to me. I have always been nice to this person and have always talked to him and I've shown interest in him and been nice. Like, I'm not sure that I'm interested in him that particular way, but I guess the flowers were just a nice gesture, but it just seems weird now because you send me this like big giant bouquet of flowers and then you kind of like just act all quiet now and like you kind of say hi to me and leave real quick. And I don't know. I don't really understand, but I appreciate the flowers, and I said thank you, and I always was talking to him. But now, like, I don't know. It's just been kind of confusing to me, like, why he did that. But maybe he just wanted to send me flowers to say thank you for me being nice. And I assume that's all it is, because now he doesn't talk to me really anymore. I'm like, okay. I haven't acted differently towards him. I've been nice to him. I'm just very confused. It's a very confusing thing, yeah. Yeah, that's what I think too. I believe that. It's just other people thought it was more. Like some people were like, "Oh my gosh, like does this guy like you?" Like, and at the time I was like, "I don't think so. I think it was just to be nice. It was just to be nice." So all I said was, "Oh, thanks for the flowers." But I think he was just genuinely being nice. The only reason I was curious was because other people made it out to be like he must like you, like more than that, and then I kind of thought, is that the case? Like he didn't write anything romantic. He said just thank you for being helpful. I think it was just a nice gesture. I do. Although lately I've been nice and I'm still waving and talking to him, but he doesn't really say hi to me as much. Like I don't know. I really don't know. I think he was just being nice. That's all. But I just was kind of curious about it for a few days. But I was like, I think it was really nice he did that. It really surprised me because I don't know, like for somebody not knowing me, I was kind of surprised by it. I mean, you kind of know me, but you don't like know me well. Like we're not friends, like really. Like we just kind of talk to each other, and I help him, and it was nice. It was nice. I just was kind of for a few days wondering about it, but I kind of stopped wondering about it because I thought, well, I think it was just to be friendly. That's what I think. But it was very thoughtful. But anyway, that's all. And I didn't have any expectations out of it. I was just kind of wondering for a minute. I think it was just a nice gesture. But, I don't know. No, it was somebody that I just help that comes into my place of business, and I help him and I talk to him, and he's told me stories and things like that. And we don't even know, like it's just a brief interaction, like maybe once or twice a week, like for a couple of minutes. Like I've never met this person like outside of work. Like I just saw him, he just came in occasionally. And he's a very nice person, don't get me wrong. That's why I just decided that it was just a nice little gift. And just a nice thought. It's kind of funny the way it braided. But oh well. I'm just going to put them in the braid and do it. I mean, it's okay. I'm just trying to stylize it. It's a nice little braid, I guess. It's just, you won't even be able to tell because I have darker hair. And that's another thing too. People are so... Ew, like, okay. This is something I found out about the long hair community. Like, some women with lightish colored hair, not all of them, but a few, they said, like, there was literally this woman, like, she has really long hair. Her hair is beautiful, okay? I've always thought that. But I watched one of her videos, and she said that it kind of bothered me, and this is her personal opinion. She can believe whatever she wants. She was... Not everybody deserves a medal, and not everybody has long hair, and she doesn't think that dark hair is beautiful, and that light hair is more beautiful. It's like, oh, what? Did you just say that? It's okay to have a preference. I like darker hair personally. I think light hair can be beautiful, but I like darker hair, and I like having darker hair, and it kind of bought into that vibe that up until, I would say more recently, that a lot of women think that dyeing their hair blonde makes them more beautiful, and sometimes there's men that prefer blondes, but it's like a lot of women, especially as they age, they think going blonde or platinum is just more attractive, and I don't agree. Like, I don't know, and that kind of was like, really? Did you just say that? So you think that women that have dark hair don't have beautiful hair? I would never think that. Like, I love dark hair, but I do think that people with lighter color hair have beautiful hair too. I would never be like, oh, like their hair is just, I don't think their hair is beautiful. And this person just straight up said it. And I was like, oh, did you just say that? Ah, ick. I don't know. Really? Yeah, that he knew me because he sees me at my place of work, so he just sent me flowers. Yeah, that's how he knew. He didn't know my home address. Like, I don't give that out. Like, no. Like, that would be super, like, even online, like, I didn't even go by, even though I show my face, I didn't go by my real name for many years. Like, well, I kind of went on my other channel talking about art, but, like, on my hair channel, I didn't even really want to tell people my name for a while, because I was like, I don't know, weirdos, like, showing up or something. But luckily, I've never had that experience, like, with somebody online. In real life, I've had people be weird, like, to me, but I've been generally okay. I haven't had a lot of too weirdo, creeper type experiences. I've been okay generally, but I was just surprised by this lady who, I don't know, like, she just said it very straight up, like, oh, I don't think women with dark hair have pretty hair, and people with lighter hair have more beautiful hair. And I'm like, oh, really? Is that, wow, I don't know. And she has very beautiful hair. I love her hair. It's very pretty, but just the fact that she said that, like, but that's me reacting to things that I hear online. And I told myself the other day, I don't want to react to stuff anymore, because I'm like, and this was years ago, and that's just their opinion. I don't like to react to a lot of, like, things people say. It just, say it with such confidence, like, that you don't like somebody's hair because of their hair color. That is it. I'm just like, really? What are you trying to say? What are you saying without saying? I don't know. That bothered me a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. But, you know, it's just my feelings on that. A lot of people, they don't see these things. Like, I always hear people say certain things that I just feel like are not empathetic. Okay, I'll be straight up with you. I'm a very empathetic person. I'm not impressed by your social clout, okay? You can have all the social clout in the world. You could have, like, really expensive things. You could be having the it item. But if you make comments that are not empathetic and you seem to, like, derive pleasure from just feeling so superior in a way to other people, to truly believing that, like, even if you are a very attractive person, to me, your heart, yeah, I totally get it. You shouldn't unless you feel comfortable, because the only reason I started doing it was because I kind of felt comfortable, like, using my name after a while, but, like, when I first started doing it, I wasn't comfortable. I mean, I still don't put a lot about myself. Like, some people, like, publish their location, and I don't, because I think that opens you up to some weird activity. I have had people that I didn't think knew my channel, like, okay, this was another, it was actually a nice comment though. It was another person that sometimes comes in to my work that I help, and then I guess she said her daughter had seen my channel and she asked me if I had a channel. I was like, yeah, but I kind of felt put on the spot because I always think of my channel just as talking about my hair journey and more appealing to my international audience, because I do have US viewers, but a lot of my viewers are, I mean, there are a few in the US, but I have a lot of people commenting on my channel more internationally. Some in the US, yes, but more internationally. So I guess I just never thought, like, and I don't put my location, so I was really surprised that her daughter found my channel. I was like, how did she find it? Oh, maybe I had something linked in my social media, and her daughter is, young people can find everything. I was like, oh yeah, I have a channel, but I don't know, I love my content. I publish, like, just wholesome content. I don't publish anything bad. So I wasn't, like, I just felt a little nervous, because I was like, yeah, because I don't tell people in real life that about my YouTube channel. Like, I don't go around, I'm blind. I need my glasses again. Okay. I don't go around You're very innocent, and I like that. I wish more people were more innocent, and I think whoever you're with, you'll meet somebody who's good and more caring. I mean, there are women my age that are not caring, that are kind of like, just. But I feel like you can kind of figure out who is caring and who is not. And to me, I feel like you can even tell on social media too, because it's gonna be people that maybe don't respond to comments on their videos, and they're kind of more interested in creating a persona or an image. Like, that's kind of a show. But you can usually tell, because somebody that's gonna go to the trouble, like, this is the little hairstyle I did. It has 2 braids on the side. It's just a fun Sunday hairstyle. But I think you're a good, empathetic person. I hate people that don't have them. I don't like literally hate them, but maybe I don't like people that don't have empathy at all. I'm not impressed. And I will be cordial to you and I'll say hi to you, but I don't pretend to be like buddy or like make small talk with people that have shown themselves to lack empathy, I guess. Like, some people are like, oh, you have to still like play it cool and be friends with everybody and act real buddy. But yeah, if you lack empathy, I like how this little braid is through the braid. It's actually kind of cool. It's good to be innocent though, because there's some people they've lost their innocence, and I feel like one thing that this is something from, I just never thought of myself as an older person. I still have a youthful nature. Julia means the youthful one, by the way. I don't know. I have a youthful nature, and I'm more youthful than other people my age. That's why I don't always say my age either, because there's a lot of ageism and people make a lot of assumptions about you, because I don't look exactly like somebody my age, and people find that problematic. I don't know. But I just think, this is my opinion, like, be empathetic, be kind, don't lose like your innocent being, because I feel like there's a lot of people in this world that want us to be very like not empathetic, and they might put on a facade of being empathetic, just showy, but when it comes down to it, and like how they treat people, like, do they treat people like fairly? Are they kind to everybody? Like, you could, like, even though I'm kind of turned off by people that aren't empathetic, I'm not going to be mean to them. I'm not going to be cruel to them. I'm not going to say something hurtful to them just because I know that they're not empathetic. I'm still going to treat them with kindness and respect, but that's what makes you empathetic too. You have to, like, I'm not saying you have to be their best friend, but you still have to find a way to navigate these like social constructs. Well, the one way I navigate it is I'm cordial to people, but I don't make it a point to like be a social being. Like, I don't go to parties, and I'm not going to invite 100 people to any event. Like, obviously, I talk to people on one hand. I started talking again with my college friend, and I remember why I'm so drawn to her, because she's like one of the most empathetic people I know. She's just a very caring person, and yeah, you just need to have empathetic people in your life. It's not important about having Oh, you mean that? It's okay. Like, you don't. What? People, like, before they get married, do all sorts of things. But I think what makes the difference is once you get married to that right person, that, like, you'll be faithful to them. And that's the difference, okay? Like, there's a lot of guys out there that, and women, I would say women too, it's 50-50, and I think it always has been. I think it's just more like out in the open now, because now it's more socially acceptable for women to act a certain way. But I think if you're just true to that person you're with, that's one thing, you know? Like, if you get married and then like, oh, after marriage, you're like, oh, I'm kind of bored after 5 years. Like, why do we glorify movies like The 7-Year Itch? It's kind of gross, like, to glorify a movie like that. I don't know. But just like try to keep your innocent nature. Like, I think it's more a perspective and just how you will be like when you're married to somebody, like to treat them as the most sacred person in your life. Like, of course, God first, but you know, like to just treat them with respect. And I just always want people to feel good, and I try to be kind to everybody. And I try to, even if somebody's not my best friend, I just try to like choose my words wisely, to think about my actions, and that's more important than being popular to me. So I don't think that's what trends on social media though, you know. But I think when you get married, you will be so like faithful or just loyal to that one. Loyal. I think loyal is a better word. Loyal to that person. So I think loyalty is more important in a relationship than previous experiences, because a lot of stuff is just about being young, you know? Anyway, thanks for watching and have a good night, guys. Get out of the bathroom because I've been monopolizing it.